Joel McMahon.
Here.
Lisa Checkley. Kelly Carden. Here. Dennis Hoffman.
Here.
Shani McCardle.
Here.
Timothy Blakey. And we have one vacancy.
Hello. Hi, Chrissy. You're on speaker.
Yeah, a few things before going to public comment. On the back, I put a sign-up sheet for your name and email. The supervisor puts out a video. It's called Around Kern County, and also newsletter and board agenda. So if you want to receive that, just leave your name and email on the sign-in sheet back there. Agenda's on the back. As we go into public comment, we have a guest speaker tonight, so we want to give as much time to him as possible. So Shanine's going to be our official timekeeper. We've got to really limit our comments to 3 minutes. She'll raise her hand when your time is up, and so we're going to go into public comments. Anybody have anything for the board or want to make any statements? Okay.
I'm not going to stand because I'm not, but last April, if you look at the minutes, I gave the board this same package about the Parks and Rec dollars that are being collected and not being collected, and I've never gotten an answer from anybody on why. It'll be 1 year in April, and if you look at the minutes for April last year, you'll see it. The other thing, I got a couple questions. We're going to have a supposedly the pool's going to open this year to operate. I was on the website for the county today looking at their hiring. Other communities are hiring lifeguards and so on for their, nothing, I could find nothing on Kern County website. I found one, can't find out where they're going. I found one request for an employee for Tehachapi, but nothing east of there. Anybody in this room know who William Chapman is?
No, I don't.
Mr. Chapman is our Parks.
My question is, who is he? What's he about? He's our representative on the County Parks and Rec Commission. He's never been here, never been to a meeting, I would gather. Yet he's out there supposedly representing us. Shouldn't he be here once in a while to talk to us?
We could have
or
him
look
as a
at
guest speaker.
facilities?
No, that's
You know?
Absolutely.
And I asked a question last week about why the county doesn't use the Oblique Act on these new subdivisions that go in to collect Parks and Rec money from them or property. They don't do that. These are all questions I've got. I think anybody in this room that's got children living here ought to be asking the same questions.
So we're going to have Lorelei at one of our meetings as a guest speaker, and she'd be the one to. And if you want to get with me afterwards, I'll write down your questions and I'll email it and I'll get some answers for you.
Well, no, I'm serious. I think the whole community has a right to know
Yeah.
what's going on and why it's not going on.
Okay. We plan on having her. She's on our list of guest speakers.
I don't know if you saw some of the what I consider not very nice remarks about some of the stuff that was posted about the pool and the work that's going on.
No.
Terrible. Terrible.
All right. Anybody else?
Joel, take a second to make sure Chrissy can hear you.
Chrissy, can you hear us?
It was kind of cutting a little bit in and out with the last speaker.
Okay. All right. Community reports. Kern County Sheriff's. You got anything for us?
We're still recruiting, see me after the meeting if you're interested.
California Highway Patrol's not here. Kern County Fire Department's not here. Assemblyman Lackey's deputy's not here. Laura Lynn, did you have?
I'm just gonna defer. I'll do a little introduction about our guest speaker when it's time, if that's okay.
Roseman Chamber, Jack, do you have anything for us?
Not a lot. I'm Jack Miller, Vice President, Roseman Chamber of Commerce. And we had our monthly meeting today. It was great. We got businesses, some unable to make it, but that's what business is all about. You get busy. So, huh? At the meeting today? I don't know, maybe about 15? Yeah, about 15. So we've had as high as about 35 show up. Yeah, so it's been a real good turnout with the businesses. Businesses get a chance to network with each other. Veterans there. So we get a good variety of the community that shows up. Joe can attest to that. He was there as well. And so it was a good meeting. I guess update about the chamber. We're just getting ready to install the solar panels. We had a grant we actually had 3 grants, but one of them was for solar panel. And we've been having trouble for finding anybody that would actually install it on a metal roof. So we finally found a solution. We're getting ready to get the panels and installing that. Let's see, we also talked today at the meeting with VFW, with the quartermaster. So they're going to be heavily involved with the September Fest this year in the planning, and also getting the Air Force personnel, military personnel participating in the parade. And we've had some direction pretty high up that we will have airmen here, because I guess they got to do so much time for community service or something like that. So we've been assured that we will have lots of help from Edwards Air Force Base this year, and DFW is committed to help us with the Grand Marshal and the team. So we're going to get a lot of coordination and help from DFW. So one of the reasons the DFW, well, they should be involved regardless, it's an armed forces parade, but the VFW is kind of hurting for a new roof. They need a new roof. So we're trying to do some joint venues, or ventures with the community and us, to where they can raise funds to get a new roof. Let's see. I think that's really about all I had. Anything I missed? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either.
Thank
What a
you.
president, that's the president. That's Gene Melcher's president of the Rosen Chamber. So, but anybody have any questions real quick? Huh?
Any questions, they'll talk to you afterwards.
Okay, that's fine.
Right. Southern Kern Unified School District. Barbara had a previous engagement tonight, so she was unable to be with us. The Antelope Valley Citizens for Responsible Use of Water.
Give it back to anybody. I'm Randy Scott. Very briefly, as you all, I'm sure, are well aware, our rainfall has been pretty good, and snowfall for the last several months. The rainfall is getting up. It's higher than average for this time of the year. The reservoirs are filled anywhere from about 75% to about 125% of their historical average. There's still quite a bit of capacity left in the reservoir. Snowpack is anywhere from 154% to 224% of the average for this time of the year. So we're doing really well as far as the snow goes, and that's another form of a reservoir, if you will. That has caused the Department of Water Resources to raise the allocation, which is the allocation that comes out through the aqueduct that feeds the major water suppliers, the wholesalers such as AVEC, Palmdale Water District, Little Rock, even Rosamond Community Services District, from their initial assessment of 5% up to 30% of the yearly allocation. So that's pretty good. The drought's not over. There are still measures in effect, and people asking people to conserve water, but hopefully if things continue, they'll start filling up even the reservoirs even more, so there'll be more capacity. So if we get less rainfall, for instance, next year, that we won't have near as significant savings requirements and so on. That's it. There's no questions.
I see we have a representative from RCSD. Anything out for us?
Yes. Well, as you know, Roseland's giving service to the new building system. And the office is open now, Monday through Thursday.
Very good.
And our former general manager, he secured enough water rights to last for 50 years. So that's good news. That's about it. We got a new general manager.
And what is his name?
Kim's his first name, I don't know his last name. I haven't met him yet, but he worked for the county for years. She might know him, I don't know.
So he's going to be our featured guest speaker next month. So if you have any water rate questions, any water issues, you want to know what's going on with future water rates, water usage, please plan on attending next meeting, and he'll introduce himself and discuss what's going on with your water and sewer.
You know, these, people complain about these new houses and stuff, they have to bring their water rights with them. I don't know if anybody knows that. They have to bring them with them. You know what that means? Like the road and community services, they went out and, how he bought water rights, he bought the land. The community service district bought the land and the water rights come with it. And, you know, they adjudicated the valley, the judge did. And so they can pump the water here.
Cool.
That's what it comes to when people build the tracks and come in with water rights, they can pump it in.
So you guys didn't come to hear the board speak tonight. We have Jason, is it Baldassar? Yep. He's here with, he's one of our, he's the designer for our new skate park. And I'm going to turn it over to him, and you have the floor, sir.
Awesome. Happy to be here. As you mentioned, my name is Jason with Push Parks, and we are the vendor that's been hired to design the skate park here in Rosemont. Had a great meeting about a month ago. See a few familiar faces from that. That meeting, the whole idea was to kind of lay the project out and start kind of building some parameters. Got some feedback from everyone in terms of what they wanted to see in terms of a design. And tonight, what we're going to wind up doing is, after I'm done speaking here, we're going to go in the other room. A few of the skaters that want to like really dive in on the technical side of the design. So, whoever feels like providing some input, please feel free to join us. But yeah, at the end of the day, what we're looking to do here is take all the ideas that everyone has in the community, turn it into a facility that's what we looked at as all wheels, all abilities, all skill levels. So it's something that's going to serve the whole, should serve the wider community, not just like a small subset of people. So anything, and when we say wheels, we really are referring to like unmotorized wheels, so skateboards, bikes, scooters, roller skates, stuff like that. So if anyone wasn't aware, you guys have a really fun facility that's going to be coming up. We're doing the design right now, as I mentioned. Don't totally have schedules set out for when it will go out to bid and construction. There's also other improvements that are coming along in the park, and this is all going to be done at Rosemont Park. There's other improvements that are coming along that doesn't fall under my purview, so Laura could fill anyone in more on that. But if you're interested in hearing more about the skate park, we're going to be diving into to the design in the next room.
Now, how big of a project will it be when it's all said and done?
We're looking anywhere from 5,000 to 6,000 square feet. So a little bigger than, like your average basketball court's about 4,500 square feet, to give you some sort of context.
Where's that going to be placed?
So so you have the main parking lot that's kind of next to where the high school is. Or you have a parking lot that's next to where the high school is. You pull into that parking lot and it kind of is a big U that shifts around. As soon as you pull into that, there's a frontage road that goes in behind the baseball, that leads to like a double wide gate that goes into the baseball field. We're in the grassy area right next to it, so we will not be.
It's not the high school, you're talking about the elementary school?
Elementary school, yeah, I'm sorry. So yeah, we'll be in the grass area that's right next to it. We're not going to have to remove any trees. The site's flat. It all looks really, really good so far. I'm still waiting on a few geotechnical studies to come back that the county's working on currently. That will eventually tell us what we can and can't do there. But so far, everything I've seen and looks like, yeah, we've got a really great site out there.
Any other questions?
Is it going to be lighted?
No, it's not going to be. It's not going to be lit right now. It's not in the plans.
Is there going to be a gate around it?
No, the fence is. It's not. There's going to be the park will be unfenced.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks for everyone's time. And like I said, if you want to talk design, we'll be in the other room.
So you guys headed over there right now?
Yeah, it's just literally right here. Yeah.
Is now a good time then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Go ahead, kids. Anybody that wants to talk technical skateboarding rails and ramps and steps, go ahead and join Jason in there and you guys can brainstorm. Not you, Kelly. You're not allowed. You can go later.
We see we have somebody from the, do you have any updates for us or anything going on in the area? Or? Yes.
Oh, that's a good question. Substation.
Huh?
We're still looking for a substation.
Okay.
Are they really?
Correct.
Good.
So the one on, Desert, is it gonna work for you guys? It used to be the old, no,
Community service district?
no, fire
What
station.
about the search
Fire
and
The
rescue?
old fire sta- the old fire station, is it good enough?
They haven't decided yet. It's all decisions from the HQ.
All right. So there's nothing else. We'll move on to new business. The minutes from January 19th, do I have a motion to approve?
Well, the first thing you probably need to do is ask if there are any additions.
Oh,
or
I'm sorry.
corrections. And the only addition, or the only correction that I can see here is that my name is misspelled. There are two F's in Schaffner, not just one. There was a sale that day.
I will fix that for
And
you.
two for the price, buy one, get one free. So there's two F's in Schaffner, not just one.
I got enough for you, Dennis.
Yeah, those things. I have plenty of those in high school, but I digress.
What did I do?
I would move that we accept the minutes as corrected.
Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion to approve the minutes as corrected.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes to accept the minutes as corrected. All right, now we're going to move on to board members' area of involvement. And I'm going to go to the, back here to our short-term goals and projects from our strategic planning mission. We talked about each board member taking an area of responsibility, like public safety, roads, so we're not duplicating. So if the community has a problem with roads, on our website we'll say, hey, contact board member so-and-so. If somebody has a problem with the CHP or questions regarding CHP or sheriff, contact board so-and-so, so we're not kind of duplicating our areas. So one of the things I would like to see is the board to adopt and discuss, adopt a motion to put this in play, and then come back next week. We'll have a month to think about with your time availability, figure out what areas of responsibility you guys want, each board member wants to take, and we'll vote on it. We'll add it to the agenda and vote on it next month.
Will that list the areas that you want to?
Right. So I think we
it's
need a
in here?
motion to
Yeah. I moved to add that to next month's agenda, that we would discuss our areas involved in, see where we fit in, see what we're most passionate about here
I'll
locally.
second.
Okay, we have a motion on the table to accept, to move this item to next month and come back. We'll vote on, each board member will come back to the board and say what area of responsibility they want to take on, and we'll vote on it.
Okay, so you let us know what those are ahead of time so we can consider it?
Yeah, I'll send those out.
Because that'd be kind of nice to know.
It's like I say, we got
How
public
about-
safety, we got roads, we got.
Is it in here somewhere?
No, I'll send them out.
Road safety, bake sales.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
So we have a motion on the table to.
Second?
All in favor?
Yeah, I want us to second the motion to
Second.
place this on the agenda for next.
Next month, yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Table to next month. Come back to the board with our duty assignment, and I'll put something out.
Joel, are you guys gonna work that and bring back the results?
I'm sorry?
You guys gonna work that as a group and come back with results?
Yeah, next week we'll vote on who has what area.
Okay.
I mean, next month?
Next
No,
month.
next month.
Yeah,
Rush
you're
you.
gonna work it before you get here and not work the details out.
No. We'll have everybody's assignment next month. We'll vote on it.
All right.
And will we be asking for public input on that? Because I'm sure they know some of us, and they know who they would like to see work on some of those things too. Yeah, our experience.
Well, I'd like to sort of sit on that too. I'd like to see what areas you're going to do one I'd like to tell you.
Exactly.
All right, thank you.
So the other new business is that we had a strategic planning. Fran was part of that. Laura Lynn, Renee, myself, and Bill Parkman. We discussed some short-term and long-term, and Jack, I'm sorry, you are integral part of that. We discussed some long-term and short-term goals, and not to get overzealous and try and do too much. I'd like to discuss a couple of one of the items on here and kind of move forward with it is hosting a job fair, shooting for June. The Sheriff's Department's hurting for people, CHP's hurting for people, and they're holding all these events in Bakersfield, and we have a good pool of people out here in our communities that could fill those positions. So what I'm trying to do is bring everybody together, the private sector, county government, and hold a job fair here in Roseman for our people out here. We have a lot of seniors that are going to be graduating from high school this year. They're going to be looking for jobs, and the solar fields are going to be hiring. There's a lot of apprentices programs, so I'd like to see us put on a nice job fair and get as many businesses and Northrop, Lockheed, get as many people out here together and see if we can get people hired and get some of these jobs filled by our local kids and people out here in our local community.
And then explain the career part. So like,
I'm sorry?
that you talked about in terms of training, teaching people at that resume.
Yes, and then I think we got that separate.
Oh,
Yeah. Do I have a motion to?
I moved to put that on the next month's agenda as well. I have 4 kids under the age of 11, and I care about us preparing to build this system for them when they're going to need it.
So what I'd like to do.
So you need to word the motion.
So I want to vote on basically moving forward with the job fair, and then I think what Kelly was saying is that next month is I'd like to vote on an ad hoc committee to run do all the legwork and get it prepared.
Is the job fair on the agenda for this month? You need to put it on next month's agenda.
That's what they're talking, is putting it on next month's
We'll put it on
agenda.
next month. Because we'll want to work with you. We want your input on that, of course.
How are you gonna word the motion?
I moved to put on next month's agenda a motion to form an ad hoc committee to explore putting on a job fair in career
Perfect.
for next month, in the future. In the next 6 months to put like a date
Well,
on that.
I wouldn't even put a time limit, I'll just say, just have one coming up.
I'll
Yeah.
second.
Okay, so write that out so it's lucid.
So we have a motion on the table to table till next
No,
month.
not table.
Or no, to move to next month to vote on hosting a job fair in the future.
Right, to place on next month's agenda.
And forming an ad hoc.
And forming an ad hoc committee.
Right, to explore and pursue it and make it happen.
Yeah.
Okay. Good, as long as you've got that right wording, that's the important thing.
And I appreciate that. I'm all-
Thank you.
Being new, we're learning. So.
Don't be too committal in your motions.
Yeah.
Right.
I'd like to see an annual job fair, and I think you need to hold it before kids get out of school.
Yeah.
So let's make it May, April.
That's what the ad hoc committee will discuss
Yeah,
and
so
form.
let's,
This is all meaningful input, I think it's, you may have a solution to it too.
it's an annual.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The more jobs we can put on Francis, the better.
So then
She brings in a lot.
Commerce wants to be involved with, because that's something that they function at town with the business.
Right, no, they're here, and we're going to involve them, Chris.
Yeah, that last speaker, that was, he's on the chamber.
All right, since there's no new business, we'll move on to director referrals and comments.
Comments, okay, first of all, I'd like to remind all those that were here, that there may be some that were here that don't know that the chamber, our chamber has a luncheon the same day that we have our meeting at the Guido's at the hangar at noon. So, as I understand it, there's a lot of really good information and networking available there.
Like today's guest was Laura, I forgot to mention that.
Oh, really?
So she was our speaker today.
Okay, so if you really want to get to know the town, I recommend the chamber luncheon in addition to our RMAC meetings. Normally, we have a better turnout. I personally have looked down the work that was done on Diamond Street. A lot of work there on you mentioned they torn out what looks like grass and put in stamped concrete with rocks, great big boulders, I guess. Which is to say, we shouldn't take that landscaping for granted, I suppose.
Absolutely not.
Anyway, it looks great. So
bring a little drum.
So I want to thank.
Don't encourage it.
Oh, sorry.
He used to have the office next to mine. He knows from what he speaks. We still have a vacancy on the board. I don't know if you saw that, if you have the agenda, but we need another board member. So what I would recommend you do is, and if you ever have a question about, gee, where do I go? Who do I talk to? We will help as much as we can, but we have an expert here in the room with us that can get us to the right department. And that's Laurel Lynn Wyatt, who is Supervisor Scrivener's representative. She's been at all of our meetings for several years now. So he is here, represented by her. So if you have a question or an issue, for heaven's sakes, give her a call. I can say that works. We had someone move out of a house on our block. They took trash out, dumped it at the curb, out on the street. I called up and she said, well, let me get on that. She made a call, and it was right around Christmas time. But within a matter of just a few days, it's now gone. It was taken care of. So what I've learned about Laura over the years is that she does what she promises that she'll do. So she's an excellent representative, and I thank her for her service with us. We're not forgotten out here, contrary to rumor. So for heaven's sakes, call her. We can help you get you to the right department, but ask yourselves and ask your neighbors, do you have any ideas to help make Rosemont a better place to live and work? If you have any of that, for heaven's sakes, give one of us a call, contact us, so that we can start working those issues. We have a lot of creative people here. Well, what can we do to make Rosemont a better place? Well, like having a skateboard park that's going on right now. So what can we do? At last month's meeting, this is the last thing that I want to talk about. Assemblyman Lackey's rep was here. I can never remember his name. Carlos? Carlo, no S. And one of the things he announced was a veterans event that was going to be held at a church. Can't remember the name of it. It's on 15th Street West, between Lancaster Boulevard and J. I can't think of the name of it. Huge church.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
It's near the corner of Walk and Don't Walk. Am I going too fast? This is a tough world. Point is, I went to that event. My brother-in-law, my sister got remarried recently, and she married a Marine. I'm so sad. Let me turn this around. And
Dennis, the 3 minutes of plan.
I understand. Anyway, he's been after me to file a claim with the VA. The Veterans Administration was there. It took a while to get up to that point, but it's all taken care of. So these things happen periodically, so I'll keep in touch. And as these things come along, I'll announce them, because if you're a veteran and you haven't taken advantage of everything that you're entitled to, you probably ought to consider doing that. So I was hoping he was here so I could thank him for that. But thank you very much.
I wanted to say that I don't think we could do this without Laura Lynn, and I want to just tell her how much we appreciate her. And
Randy.
we appreciate the rest of you for coming and giving your reports and telling us what you would like to see. Thank you very much for taking the time to come.
One of the things I've noticed, I grew up here, I've been here since 1974, part of the community, is the powers that be look at our meetings and look at the involvement. And the more people we get involved, and the more people we can get active, the more we're going to get from Rosemont. So we got to take it upon ourselves, get involved. I decided instead of talking the talk, I was going to walk the walk and get a little bit more active in the community. With our law enforcement going on, our church recently got broken into, and I had to do the report online myself, and that was kind of disheartening. So if you see something, say something, report it, no matter whether you think they're going to come out or not. The more, I'm a firm believer in the squeaky wheel will eventually get the oil. So we got to say something. We all got to get active in our community. This is our community. We decide how we want to proceed.
So to pile on that, I know sometimes it feels as if we're being ignored, but the more eventually they can't ignore us when we continue to put everything out there, right? So we have to do those things. I get that. I'm going to go back to Laura Lynn. I actually have a unique relationship with Laura Lynn because I ran against Zach. And I told her, I said, man, if she ran, I would have stayed home. Could have saved me a ton of money and I would have lost so much weight from stress, let me tell you. But I do want to inform you guys of what I've been doing. On Friday, we had the groundbreaking at Tropical Middle School. Gene and I were both there. We both had the opportunity to make statements. I went to Tropical Middle School, so it meant a lot to me. They're adding 28 new classrooms, 4 new bathrooms, and they're revamping the playground, the fields. They're adding a track, new basketball court, new paving for the basketball court and the volleyball courts. And what that means is that's 240 students who they have room now for them. I mean, the school's close to doubled in size since I went to school there, and they've only added a few extra facilities since then, so this is desperately needed. So I got a chance to make a statement. That was cool. It was my first public statement, and I was super proud to do it. You know, Mr. Glennon was one of my teachers, but he was more than just that. Mr. Glennon was my father's English teacher and mine. You know, and I look around and I see the room. Every time I see Gene, he probably gets tired of it, but I always make a comment about, I grew up in the house that Gene built. It's still there. I don't live in it anymore, but it's still there. You know,
Still standing.
I'm just happy to be here, you know, and they spoke earlier, Director Schaffner spoke about the vacancy for our board. I literally decided to run for office after getting quoted at a water board meeting. That is the requirement. Caring about your community. That's it. There's no educational requirement. There's no financial requirement. I mean, it's you saying that you're the change that happens is when we stand up and say, hey, you know. So I also encourage somebody to, you know, if you ever thought about this, Lauren Lynn can attest to this. We don't plan to do these things. I am a restaurant manager in my profession. I manage. I'm responsible for the food services at a college in Pasadena, and I don't have a degree. I just work my tail off and I listen to my neighbors and my friends. So I appreciate somebody, please. And then also they've not yet picked for Measure K, right?
That is correct. Do you want me to talk about that real quick?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
This is important. So
This is important. So, as you all know, the 1% sales tax increase, Measure K, did pass. One of the requirements of that, of the county, they are forming a citizens advisory committee. Each district will have a citizen representative on that committee. The applications are open right now. If you choose to have an interest in that, it's reporting back accountability. So Measure K was about public safety. So it's gonna help make sure that that's the intent of that money is definitely the use of that money. Hold people accountable, hold our government accountable. Supervisor Scribner will have one person that he can put on that committee. Each board member gets one. So there will be 5 plus, you know, your chief financial and some staff from the county. But anyway, those applications are open now. So you go to kerncounty.com, go to government. Under there's a tab called commissions, councils and commissions. Committees, councils, commissions. You got to scroll down a little bit because it's alphabetical, but the application is right there. You fill it out. You can't be staff of the county and you can't be an elected official. Other than that, you're welcome to fill out application.
Right, thank you.
Is that a paid position or is it?
Volunteer position. Make sure that they're spending their money correctly. Right, anything else for the board?
Did you bring business cards you can hand out?
Me? Yes, you did.
Get a card.
Anything else from the board? All right, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any abstentions or nays?
When's our next meeting?
Yeah, meeting will be March 16th.
I'm a
6 o'clock.
NASCAR fan, and the duels are.
Or like, you know, kind of like coming out.
Oh, gotcha.
How you have that thing, like, I don't know, like, they, like, more design, more like.
The walls would have to totally change. There's like, we could definitely do it where we build like a really, it's tight and it's like. Yeah. And it like, yeah, I think it could be.
But the wall is still very nice. Is this empty space used?
I'm trying to That's how every project on the planet goes. You either get a huge budget, and like your space is this small, or you get a good budget, and your space is like this. It's just like the nature of the beast. But I really think the idea of wrapping this around and connecting would be super cool.
Yeah, if it's in the budget, do it, please. Because at Dean Reynolds, so like they have paid walkways into the park. See, I really couldn't roller skate those because those paid walkways have like uneven, large joints.
That's by design.
No,
They're doing that so that you can't skate. They don't want.
Oh, because they don't want you
Their whole-
skating in or out of the park.
They don't want.
Because,
They want you to carry.
pedestrians.
I'm not saying I agree with it. They want you to grab your board or grab your skates and walk there,
walk to
and
the
then
park.
put your skates on. Like,
Yeah, of
yeah. That's just. I hear your frustration.
Just and not only that, but I was actually trying to skate there, and then there were two other little kids. One of them was on a bike, one of them was on a scooter, and so it wasn't wide enough. There
Yeah,
wasn't
it's
enough
not.
space.
It's just not. It's only meant for like one person.
Yeah.
Like an imprint on the ground, or like a horseshoe.
Yeah, we could do something on the ground.
That's from Texas.
Yeah, it's
So, you
Texas.
know, so they had a star in the skate park.
Oh, okay. Yeah, something like that. It's part of the
We
design.
could do.
Aerial design, I guess.
Aerial design.
You can't see it unless you're like bird's eye view.
Yeah, but,
I wonder if making an aerial design of the whole park would be.
How tall are these?
The whole park, like the